Hi, I'm Emme. Welcome to my homestead. Today we'll be discussing sourdough, and I'll show you the methods of capturing sourdough. First, I'd like to introduce you to one of the oldest members of my family. This is my sourdough starter. This starter has been in my family for many generations, and as legend has it, it was started in Alaska during the gold rush days and has been passed down ever since then. Almost every member of my family has some of this, and we all care for it, and it's been alive for over 100 years. Now you may wonder about the sourdough. See, every sourdough may taste different. My father's sourdough, which is from the same starter, doesn't taste anything like mine. Why is that? Well, there are many reasons for this, but one of the most major reasons is that the yeast in the air here is much different than up there, where my family's from. So when I set out my sourdough, my starter, and add flour to it and let it sit out overnight, all the yeasts that are floating around in the air are going to be different here than they are there. And over time, the flavors will change, or the actions may change. Some sourdough starters give you really good rise, and some have really strong flavor. Some have mellow flavor, but you'll find out what works in your area. And that's the love of sourdough. So, are you ready for a great hunt for your own sourdough starter? Let's go. Okay, let me explain something to you about your sourdough starter. Now, sourdough starter, I keep mine in my fridge, and I take it out when I need it. I feed it, and I take some away. But let's take a closer look. You can look at this. See this on the top? This layer of liquid? That layer of liquid is called the hooch. And if you smell it, your sourdough will smell kind of yeasty, like it's been fermenting, and that's because it has been. See if you can take a look. So that's the hooch on top of the sourdough. Hooch is not a bad thing. Actually, you want to keep the hooch. And all I do is simply stir it in. And that's part of the flavor and the joy of sourdough. Okay. We'll be capturing our yeast using 2 ingredients, and we'll be doing this a few times. First, we have a cup of flour and a cup of water. They're equal amounts, and all we're going to do is to add the flour, the water to the flour, and stir this up. I'm really whipping this together. It's thick, kind of like pancake batter, but my goal is to get lots of air into this so that the yeast has a lot of pockets to attach itself. You can have wild yeast. And a fork works extremely well for this. So now that this mixture has been completely mixed, I'll simply place it in a warm spot in the house. As you can see, it's winter outside, so I'll keep this inside. If it happened to be summer, I would place this outside with a cheesecloth covering it to keep any debris or bugs or critters out. But there are lots of wild yeasts floating around outside. Not as many in the inside during winter time, but it can still do the trick. So tomorrow, we'll do some more. It's now day 2, and as you can see here, we have some slight bubbles that are forming. And all I'm going to do again today is mix this up. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to add anything or do anything else. All I'm going to do is mix it. Get more air bubbles in there. And then I'll put this away to sit for a while again. Hi, it's day 3, and we're back to our sourdough. Now if you look closely here, see all these little bubbles? These are all the gases in our sourdough. So the yeast has found all the air pockets in our sourdough. Look at this. And is feeding. And as the yeast feeds, it releases all these gases. That's how you know that you have yeast in your sourdough. And you have successfully collected yeast. So all that we have to do now is feed it. And then from this point on, we can use this, our starter, to start new bread. So now we've successfully collected sourdough starter. We have a mother, and with our mother we can create babies. We can share our sourdough with others, and we can use it to make sourdough bread, sourdough cinnamon rolls, sourdough pancakes. Really, the sky's the limit. So, are you going to try now at home? Remember, once you have collected your starter, all you need to do is feed it. So I'll start adding flour and water to it, letting it sit out and letting it do its magic. I'll see you next time.